Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Justin back at the movies for another review. Continuing on with Michael Fassbender Week on the channel, we're going to be doing the 2010 Jimmy Hayward directed Jonah Hex. This movie, I remember when Jonah Hex, showed its first trailer. I can't remember what movie I saw the trailer with. I got excited. I was intrigued by the character, the story. You had a pretty solid cast. You had Josh Brolin, you had John Malkovich, you had Will Arnett, you had Michael Fassbender. Those were all really talented actors. And, they did have some enjoyable scenes in the movie. Fassbender plays a great villain. So does John Malkovich. Josh Brolin, great actor in his own right. However, it wouldn't, and the funny thing is about several actors, like a Chris Evans, who was the Human Torch, but then really, really shined as Captain America. Josh Brolin's the same way. Not that his performance was bad as Jonah Hex, but his performances as Cable in Deadpool 2 and Thanos in the Marvel Universe were all better. They were all, a more seasoned actor, especially when it comes to a comic book adaptation. So again, he had some quality, scenes. It's not a bad character. Not many people know who Jonah Hex is. I didn't know who he was because I was never a comic book guy. So I had to read about him. I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. And the fact that it takes place after the Civil War. I'm a historian. I was intrigued. However, after seeing the movie, I remember when I saw the movie in theaters, I was let down. It's not a horrendous movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely not a good movie. Like I said, those actors that I listed had some fun scenes. Fassbender, worked really well as Malkovich's lead henchman and basically one of the main rivals of Jonah. So they all had really good interactive scenes. But casting Megan Fox as the pseudo love interest of Jonah really, really was a letdown. I'm not a Megan Fox fan. She's a beautiful woman, but she's not a great actress. She's had a few good roles. Jennifer's Body, she was, entertaining in. But other than that, she really missed the mark. I feel like if you would cast somebody a little older, who had better acting abilities, maybe it helps the movie's overall tone. Just don't buy her as a badass. I really don't. I never have. So that's a big letdown. And that's really how you could sum up the movie. It's a letdown. I had high hopes for the movie going in, and there was some redeemable qualities to it, but it's not a good movie. And unfortunately, I think if this movie comes out 5 years later, with a more seasoned director, Jimmy Hayward at this point had only directed one movie, and it was the animated Horton Hears a Who. It's a fine movie. It really is, but he had no other credentials to his credit. Why is he directing a major Hollywood comic book adaptation, just as comic book adaptations are really starting to develop? Just a few years prior, you had Iron Man come out. You're trying to get to the point where, I get it, after the success of Iron Man, you want to get as much out as you can. Get a better director, or get a more seasoned director, I should say. And maybe that helps the overall tone of the movie. Maybe you have different casting choices that could help with the overall tone of the movie. But unfortunately, we didn't get that, and with how poorly the movie did at the box office. Again, part of that is the overall quality of the movie. Part of that is the fact that it's a relatively unknown character. That being said, unknown characters are now coming out like crazy, and they're becoming successful, especially in the Marvel universe. So, 5-10 years after this movie was made, if you made it now with a more seasoned director, you might have more chance of success. But like I said, we didn't get that, and what we are stuck with is a 5.1 movie. That's really what I think. It's not one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I can say that. It does have some redeemable qualities, but for the most part, it's a lackluster, forgettable movie. So, 2010's Jonah Hex, it's a 5.1 all day. So, that's my review. I'm sticking with it. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time at the movies. Take care.